Hello, welcome to New Meta Podcast, episode 98. We're tantalisingly close to the big hundreds, and some news about that in a moment. But first, welcome to the pod, Marco and Adam. Marco, how are you doing this week?
Hello. Doing very well. Very well. Enjoying the summer event, I have to say. Very happy that Valve has brought out so many goodies for us. So I'm very, very excited to talk about lots of changes in the world of Dota.
Excellent, thank you. That's more of an intro sentence than I managed to provide, so, well, thank you. Summer event and patch, main things on the menu, like you say, so that should be good. Lots of changes. Also, AM Persona, I'll give you a word on that in a moment, maybe. I mean, after I've introed Adam. Adam, welcome to the pod. How are you?
Good.
Adam's not good.
No, I'm good. I just wanted to, since, Marco gave such a eloquent opening, I figured I'd do the opposite. Just
nice.
Keep it to one word.
Balance in all things. I like it.
Great, even. We'll say great. Although, I don't know if you've looked at your Dota buff. I guess it wouldn't matter for Stan, but these games for Aghanim's Labyrinth show up on your Dota buff. So it looks like I lost 1 million games in a row. But
oh really? Oh, you've got to patch that out.
Yeah.
Your win rate on the heroes are going to get decimated.
It says no stats recorded, but it's still just 10 or 12 losses in a row. It's pretty funny.
It makes the page look bad, yeah. Sea of red.
No kills, only deaths.
Well, at least you got to level 2. Oh wait, oh no. I thought I got to level 2 there, but I died on the boss. It was bad. Before we talk about Aghanims, though, I do want to say 2 things. First of all, something that I've actually never said before on the podcast, believe it or not, is a bit of a self-plug. If you have the time, give us a rate and review on iTunes, because I'm pretty confident that it matters. I think that it will help us show up and stuff, and frankly, we need all the help we can get to reach as many listeners as possible. So, if you do leave a rate or review anywhere, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, I don't know where people listen to, YouTube even, that would be great. So please do that. That'll help us a lot. Second thing is episode 100. I think what we're going to do after much consultation in the Dota community is some sort of, I don't want to say Q&A because that makes it sound more personal than it necessarily would be, but just answering questions, anything. Could be about the patch, could be about Dota, could be about Dota 5 years ago, could be about anything.
It could be personal. People might be interested in us as content creators.
Yeah, could be. There's no rules. Just whatever you want to ask, we will discuss in whatever detail we think necessary. In lots of detail, if we only get 1 or 2 questions. So, I think the method through which you can pose your questions, Marco has made an incredible web page that I'll link in the description to the podcast. I'll also put it on Discord, so look for it there. It's just very simple. Click the link and leave a question.
It's a Google form.
Yeah.
Let's not call it an amazing website.
Whoa, I wrote the code just then for this,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
You bought the domain.
It's on the CV now. Website creator.
Yeah.
Created a website. Yeah. So, yeah, go and pop in any question you like, and we'll answer it in episode 100. So there you go. Incredible listener outreach.
I mean,
episode
yeah,
100.
big hundo. We've been building up for months now, so we've got to deliver on something that bit extra special, and hopefully it should be a nice, juicy, colourful discussion if we get good engagement.
Are we going to give away anything? This can be cut out.
Leave it in and let Adam hang, because we're going to say no.
We might give something away. See, that's what you've got to leave them on the edge. Leave it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly.
You might get something.
I mean,
special.
That's the way to bump user engagement. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. That's to get them to turn up.
We already asked them to leave a review.
That's
Might
true.
as well reward somebody.
Yeah. All right, you'll get a reward. No guarantees what it is, but you'll get something. I promise. Or you might get something. I don't know if I'm going to give something away to every person. That maybe the best question or something. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Best question gets something. That's what we're willing to commit to.
Best Marco Flame gets something.
Yeah, special award. Moving on though to today's episode, still got 2 pods to go before the hundo. AM Persona, Marco, I promised you some airtime. This is what you've been waiting for. Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I am. I didn't get to play it for felt like a day, and then I remember the first 3 games, it's just getting banned and double picked. So it was quite laborious actually finding a match where I could play it. But honestly, and so before I actually played it, a lot of people were complaining, and I was a bit eyebrows raised, like, oh, is it going to be disappointing? But then I felt like the complaints I saw were a bit harsh, and I thought it was actually really cool. The new Persona, looks pretty cool. It's like it is a bit different. Weapons are a bit different. Voice lines different.
They already added particles to the weapon since the complaint.
I think that's justified. The one complaint or negative comment I would have had was it would have been cool for one spell to look a bit different. Say like the blink animation had its own flair to it. That could have been cool. And I think that could have fit this persona of you're not going to do everything like for like as your teacher. So, I mean, add a bit of your own personality. That could have been cool, but yeah, they've added something to the blades, which is nice.
It would have been cool if you could have used the blades from Anti-Mage, so you could have your Golden Bashers or something, or your Manta style ones. But I understand that it's hard to implement that, I guess. Yeah,
I'm still happy with the blades because the basic Anti-Mage is one of the most lackluster parts of basic set. So the Persona's blades are still pretty sweet, I think. So that was nice. That was pretty pog. I think I've only played it. Honestly, it might only be twice and gone 1-1 because then the summer event came out quite soon after the Persona. So I actually need to get more AM games in.
Well, there you go, AM Persona. The summer event though that you mentioned.
Just to backtrack, I've been playing a bit of Void, Pog. Only a little bit.
Which one?
Faceless. Come on, Don't disrespect Faceless Void like that. Void is Faceless Void. Void Spirit is a newbie to the scene. He does not have that respect.
Okay.
Backtrack. Actually, I need to mention my Pudge. That's why I've not been playing Anti-Mage. Played a couple of Anti-Mage, and then I've just been deep diving into the Pudge.
Yeah, go on. Let's do how have games been briefly. How have games been, Marco? How's Pudge been treating you?
So the games have been my Pudge experimentation. There's been a couple of Rickies in there when I've needed to pick myself up and get a win under the belt. But Pudge have been experimenting in the mid and refining my build. Excuse me, let's not laugh about this. Serious stuff.
Excuse me, that's something in my throat there. Sorry.
Refining my Pudge build, which is very much hot farm intensive, rot talent. We're going for a Hood, Phase, Rady, Blink. Blink I've learned is pivotal. There was a game I didn't get Blink, got 4 staff, and it was just game losing. Blink, you really do need to get in the mix of the fights. So I've been playing that quite a bit, and you kind of optimize farming patterns. Every game I'm dying to the enemy mid at least once, but it's a learning curve. Yeah. Be it a rank 400 Lesh or a Legend 2 Invoker, they're all as equally difficult when you play Pudge mid. So I think a bit more success than failure. However, new patch arrives. Ice Frog listens to my emails, gives Pudge a good couple buffs, so I'm raring to go back to the mid Pudge after these newfound buffs. So that's been games.
I'll do my games briefly because I feel like a lot of Adam's games will segue us nicely into the Aghanim stuff because that's what I know Adam's been playing a bunch. I've actually played quite a lot of games this week and I've sort of had mixed results. I've had some good fun playing carries. A Weaver, a CK, an Ember, Sven, all wins. And on Juggernaut as well. So the carry's been going pretty good, although I did lose on a Lifestealer and a Monkey King, so I'm really just doing every carry in the book. Beyond that, Storm Spirit. Me and Adam just played a game where I lost on Alchemist. I do actually think Alchemist is pretty good. Maybe we'll get the patch. I don't know if he's been buffed enough to warrant discussion because it's quite a long patch. We'll skip over the minor changes. But yeah, my games have been pretty fun. Actually, this is the most I played in a week in quite a while, actually.
Which carry have you enjoyed the most?
I actually would say... I want to say Sven, honestly. I actually really enjoyed the Sven game. I thought it was fun, and it was one of those dream Sven games where you can kind of... It just feels good when he swings his massive sword and just blasts heroes. It's just more satisfying than like Weaver, just with the crappy sounds from the Weaver right clicks and Sakuchi. It's just you want the sounds of Sven just like screaming. Yeah, just like. And it's fun because I was very much ahead in the game, so I was able to like one shot heroes in Stormhammer and stuff like that. Phase BKB, Phase Echo, BKB Ags, Daedalus, Satanic Silver Edge. So that was all 35 minutes. So I was very, very fond in this game. So very good fun. And when you get Daedalus on Sven, it's just good times. So yeah, Adam, games, and you feel free to segue straight into Aghanims if you wish to talk about
that. I am doing just Cavern. It's been so long. Like I'm looking at my Dota buff, and I'm like, yeah, I played these games, but until just before this podcast, when we played one, it's hard to remember what real Dota was like. Looks like I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 Aghanims in a row. So that is a lot of custom game content. I know I tried to get Storm Spirit win 3 times, and it was just a losing effort. Just not even close. It made me sad.
Yikes.
But I had some fun Ember Spirit games. Other than that, it's all Aghanim's Labyrinth.
I mean, you played it 13 times. You enjoying it then? You pretty happy with this game mode?
I'm happy with it. I mean, that's probably more than I ever played Siltbreaker, and I did that in a day. And that's more than... Was Underhollow the one where you went room to room? I think that's right.
I can't hardly remember, to be honest.
Underhollow was pretty fun. Siltbreaker was probably my least favorite. Dark Moon, Wraith Knight, Dire Tide, Frostivus. I don't know. I like all the custom game modes, and this one is, I think, pretty well thought out because they made it very replayable. Since it has the roguelike elements. So, I enjoy it.
Levels. There's 5 levels. I played it twice and haven't done level 1 yet. Got to the boss the second time round. You've done level 1, completed it. Have you had much trouble with level 2? I mean, to me it just seems... What's level 5 going to look like? Oh, is that a sort of end of Battle Pass thing when people have built up their...
Oh no, there's already people that have already done level 4.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't really watched streams or anything, so all I know is from my limited experience with it. But basically, level 2 has pretty much the same rooms, but each one of them has like a modifier added onto it to make it even harder. So we got like I've finished level 1, beat the boss, and then like let's try level 2, and then we like died on the 3rd room. It's like okay, gonna need to get better. I like it though. It's like it's really hard, but it's not insurmountable. Like you just have to play good, or play well. So it's and there is a bit of a grind. Like you want to get some more of those Aghanim shards so you get the blessing, because I think that does make a big difference. You probably can't finish level 4 until you've filled out a decent chunk of the tree, I would think.
Do we have any insider knowledge of some of the most OP heroes? Do we have opinions on that?
Wyvern is the best DPS.
Best single target DPS?
Does Wyvern do more than a sniper?
I think so, because there's like the burn on the Arctic burn as well, and you have pretty much the same range. But then you also have wave clear on a shorter cooldown, and then you even have a stun yourself, like a lockdown spell.
I think I've only played one game of Sniper, but I think he's quite gimmicky in the game mode because his strongest spell, or at least out of the ones I had, that you get given at the beginning, is you gain attack speed for each unit that dies in shrapnel. So it means that in the rooms where there's tons and tons of creeps, you put a shrapnel, loads of them die, and then you're doing crazy damage and you're insane. But then in rooms where it's just one hero or, two really tanky creeps, then he's just doesn't really offer anything if you go in terms of DPS. Whereas I think Wyvern does, because of the innate, whatever you call them, upgrades to the spells, just suit the DPS a little bit better, whereas Sniper's a bit more hit and miss.
It's like, I think one of the better Sniper talents is like take aim gives you 300 or 400 attack speed for 3 attacks after you activate it. That, or like a headshot can stun.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I got that one too by the end.
Yeah, but besides that, it's just like Wyvern might have the most insane talents out of anyone. Just like you have 5 split shot on your Arctic burn, and then I've had it to also where Arctic burn hits targets 200 or in 200 range around where Arctic burn hits. So you're splitting, and then like also damaging around, and then you get like duration talents and range talents to where you're halfway across the map and you have permanent uptime on your Arctic burn. So it's just gross. And then you get a Bloodthorn and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, this mode's going to be around for a while, so maybe we'll have more to say about it in the future.
But besides that, for DPS, you want like Omni Knight and you want Disruptor, and then a flex spot, I think is the meta right now.
Omni Knight does seem good. I like Omni Knight.
Those two do seem pretty pog. It'd be interesting to see this trial that comes on Tuesday, I think it is, where everyone's speed running against each other. Yeah,
I see that. I also like that they made it so it's got some pseudo randomness to it, right? Because you don't know what talents you're going to get every game or what drops you get. And then it's based off of how fast you clear. So I like that because it's not going to be like you actually have to be good at the mode. You know what I mean? I guess, if you get extra lucky, maybe that's who's going to top of the ladder. But I think it's better that way than just having everyone just grind the same boring, meta with it.
Yeah, for like tiny efficiency gains,
Right. And then I guess you probably didn't play Stan when this was a thing, but like, do you remember, Marco, Dire Tide? That's the Halloween event, right?
I know that everyone always brings it up as the golden days, but I really never did much.
Well, do you remember it though? It's where like you played the mode, and then it was a 5v5, right? And no one cared about the mode because after that mode ended, all 10 of you tried to kill Roshan, and it was just like this uber boss. So really what you did was you picked 5 heroes and they picked 5 heroes to clear Roshan. And if like it was the same type of thing where if you did it the best, I don't know what the metric was, you got baby Roshan couriers. It was like all these pro gamers farmed up these Roshan couriers, was worth like $10,000 or something. Yeah, I remember that. That was a lot of fun. There was like this epic strat because they kept nerfing once there were waves, right? So once someone figured out a way to do it and they got the Roshans, then Valve nerfed that way of doing it. So there kept to be consistently thinking up abuses. But one team would have a Rubik and the other team would have a Chen. And Chen would like max out Holy Persuasion, right? And he would take a creep. And then Rubik would steal Holy Persuasion. So they would go back and forth and make this mega creep because every time you dominated it, it got more health. And so you just did that the entire game mode, which I think like took I don't know, like 15 minutes. And then once the game started, a Clinks would devour the creep and get like giga damage.
Wow.
That was the strat. I remember that was pretty funny, pretty epic.
So you heard it here first, listeners. That's how you beat Diatite.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, man, that was, but you would do something like that, right? Because the reward was there. That was like a 5K item at least that you were getting out of winning. So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see this leaderboard, like how it looks just in client. I'll be interested to see how they choose to display it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the patch, though, lots of changes. We've got the hero changes, obviously, with this one, although some non-hero changes first. Does any of this disassembling stuff matter? So you can't disassemble Abyssal, Mjolnir, Silver Edge, and Crest, and you can now disassemble Echo Saber. Does this mean anything? I know people do some.
What would you use the Echo for? Like, what would you disable it or disassemble it into?
Ogre Axe for BKB,
and then
Oblivion Staff is Orchid.
Orchid.
It's pretty weird.
Butterfly. Yeah.
Like, who builds Echo Saber and then disassembles into those two things? I don't know.
Has anyone ever disassembled an Abyssal or a Mjolnir either?
Or Silver Edge or Crest?
Yeah. Anyone ever done that in the history of Dota? I don't really think so.
I do want to be able to disassemble Maelstrom. That's the one I want to be able to disassemble. Because I accidentally build that all the time. Well, not all the time, but there's been plenty of times when I've wanted to go Javelin and then BKBs, and then it makes it into Maelstrom, and I can't get rid of it. So, when I want to do Maelstrom BKB, I've had that before, where I've ended up with 2 Maelstroms or something, because I've gone like Maelstrom and then a Javelin or something, or something odd like that I can't remember. Yeah, that's the one I want to be able to disassemble. And then the other item change is just minor, I would say.
I mean, the Monkey King bar one, that used to be 0 recipe, right?
Yes, it's over the course of A and B. It is now 550 gold more than it used to be, which shows you just how ridiculous that item was.
Yeah. And then we've mentioned Orchid being this pretty flavor, cheapo 3.5k item, so just touch its attack speed up a little bit. Seems fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Abaddon, Mistcoil range increased to 575. Adam, are you back? Is the Abaddon 5 back?
I am so stoked for that buff. That was you scroll down, you get to the first hero, and you're like, yes! And it gets base health regen. Like,
you can't deny yourself, though. It's so grim.
You can't deny, but it's much easier to heal people, so I'll take it. He's actually got, 80 damage level 20. He's a sneaky core for sure.
He's such a weird hero. He's so forgotten, Abaddon. Considering he's, the first hero in terms of the alphabet, I feel like he's just always forgotten. I always forget. If you told me to list every Dota hero, Abaddon would be definitely after the 100 mark, I would say.
Which is sad because he's the first alphabetical hero.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
For years it was Alchemist, and then they came out with Abaddon.
Yeah. Speaking of Alchemist, nothing worth talking about has happened to. The radius of his stun's gone up, which is a bit annoying. I actually rate Alchemist. I know I just played a game with him and lost, but I think he's definitely strong. I feel like if TI was happening now on this patch, then Alk would be very hotly contested because it's TI and because it's Alk. And you can just abuse Grievous Greed as we've seen time and time again. So I'm hot on the Alk a little bit, just in general, and then this is a little small buff that's going to help him as well. Looking down the list, is there anything that either of you come to that you feel like is worthy of discussion?
I think AA, I'm disappointed that he or she wasn't buffed more. 5 mana cost, up to 15 mana cost reduction on Ice Vortex. No one cares.
That is nice because you lay down so many in the late game and you run out of mana pretty fast. 15 less at level 4 feels... I don't know. I wish they pushed AA more, is my point.
I like this
Yeah.
hero, and I don't think it can ever come out unless it's a counter pick or a prevent pick kind of thing. Just a
Bat. Yeah, go on. I was going to say, Bat Rider. This sticky napalm turn rate reduced from 70% to 40%. Level 1, 40, 50, 60. Is Bat Rider less of just an abusive laner now? Like, that seems like quite a big reduction. Does it matter though?
Yes.
Why does what's
Because
the
of the level 2 napalm. What's the firefly?
yeah?
Yeah, sticky napalm firefly. Like they can more easily turn and run away out of it. I guess. I think that's fine though. It was always so disgusting that he would lop off your turn rate like that at level 1.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the biggest changes. And I think you do see it more in pro games where Bat Rider's more prevalent. And you'll hear people talk about it, like the analysts. Bat Rider comes out and they're like, oh, okay, this is just completely won a lane. And it happens at level 3, literally, because of how sticky napalm used to be so much better. So it is sizable, that nerf, I think. But not really relevant because no one plays Bat.
Yeah.
You're going to lose, so...
Are we going alphabetically?
Yes.
Okay, well, just to go back to Arc Warden, I think his talents got shifted to be better, so it makes me mad because I don't want to face that hero.
That feels bad. Arc Warden buff feels...
Level 15, 15% cooldown reduction? Oh, yikes.
Cooldown reduction on Arc Warden's so gross. And yeah, 15, what? That's insane, actually.
It's like,
Especially
instead of
with the
him getting
minuses.
6 at 10, he gets 15 at 15. It's like, I think every Arc Warden would take that trade. Like, it's so much better at 15%. So
Might is cheaper for the Arc Warden form.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. If you play Arc Warden, then don't.
Then don't.
Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker, lots of changes here. I'll try and run through them quickly. Intelligence gain increased, or just intelligence increased. But Blood Rage has been reworked. We talked about whether there could be reworks, and there has. Increases your attack speed by 50 scaling to 140, and your spell amplification by 6% scaling to 24%. Drains roughly 2.5% of your max health per second. Self or ally hero cast provides half attack speed or on allies, so lasts 8 seconds, and has a cooldown of 14 to 8 seconds, and a mana cost of 25 to 40, not lethal.
Oh, so you cannot grief your teammate.
Yeah.
Partially.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight then. So it's 8 seconds. You're now taking damage on yourself. You're taking 2.5 to 3% of your max health per second for 8 seconds is going, and for that you're getting attack speed, just straight attack speed, and spell amp.
So, for reference, at level 4, you've got 3% per second, 8 seconds, 24%.
A quarter of your health.
That's so sizable. But the attack speed, 140, so the Hyperstone's 50.
I think it's 60.
Oh, is it?
It's like 2 1/3
Yeah.
moon. It's like 2 1/3 hyperstone.
Yeah, so that's serious attack speed. And you can cast it whilst you're moving without interrupting your movement, which is really nice.
But the thing is, so since not to get ahead, but since they moved your healing to thirst now, so it's not like you can even blood rage your teammate and they gain health from killing creeps. So you're just draining them a quarter of their health. But I mean, if you throw it on a Zeus, that's insane, right?
Oh yeah, because they get spell amp. That is good.
I mean, 24% spell amp. It's pretty insane. Like, you probably
That
would
is
trade
insane.
a quarter of your life for that, but it is kind of like a iffy thing because they're not going to gain the health back from killing creeps, or killing heroes. So they got to be like not in the middle of a team fight for you to cast that on a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just to run through the Thirst changes then. Thirst no longer grants attack speed, now provides 6 to 15% of max health as a heal for creep kills, and double that for hero kills. Grants half healing if you're in the 300 range of a dying enemy, creep or hero. So if you don't even have to kill the creep yourself, if you're within 300 radius, you'll get some HP. And if you kill it yourself, you'll get 15% of your HP. That's a lot.
And it's just passive, which is nice. You don't have to, cast a spell and then hit a creep. It's just always on.
This seems like a watch this space kind of thing, because at the moment the hero's win rate's completely tanked. It's down from 52% to 42%, so minus 10% win rate. So it's been this change so far has completely shafted the hero. But the pick rate's up from 8.5% to 10.5%, so people want to play it because it's changed so much. So I feel
think it's
like
good.
Talking about Zeus makes it interesting. I feel like there's definitely ways to make it good, but it's going to take a bit of time.
You just build a Radiance.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And you just cast it on yourself, and now your Radiance is dealing...
Does that get amped by spell?
Yeah, so you're dealing like 75 damage in a radius, and anything that dies just heals you. But
you're taking a lot of damage yourself from this.
I'm just saying, like a creep wave, even if you don't like last hit it, it's still dying.
Yeah.
And you'll still just get heals. Like, I bet you could build them kind of like tanky. And I guess if you blood rage yourself while someone else is ruptured, they would take more damage, right? Because you.
What's the skill build on the hero now? You get Thirst level 1 for the regen. And then the Blood Rage doesn't even seem good. I guess you're just maxing Thirst?
There's got to be a support Bloodseeker build.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah.
Thirst, Blood Rage, Thirst? Maybe Blood Right? I don't know.
I think maybe a couple in Thirst and leave it in the 9% heal. Because you're not really, getting more heal from
that's enough to jungle.
Yeah, it feels enough to just lane and jungle, and then your damage. Again, but then do you go Blood Rage or do you go Blood Right? Feel like you go Blood Rage still. Then you just use your Blood Right for the silence rather than the damage.
Interesting. Watch this space.
It's half attack speed on allies, but it's full spell amp. Yeah.
Zeus, man. That's the answer.
But didn't they change that, though? At one time, you couldn't... it didn't work on global spells. Maybe it does now.
Who knows?
Pretty epic, though.
Yeah.
There's at least a meme montage video with this hero.
Yeah. Lots of Brewmaster changes. Are any of them that big? I don't feel like any of them are that big. They've just changed some tweaking numbers. I don't really feel like it's worth going in, but just some general buffs. And then beyond that, Centaur did get changed quite a lot. So Retaliate no longer has an active component that provides attack damage. It now also returns strength as damage. And
old school, right?
Yeah, old school, yeah. Like return. And the base damage has been reduced. So Retaliate gave you base damage? What?
That's the base damage from you attacking.
Okay, but it's not gone active, though, so...
No, I just mean, when you attack them, you would take an amount of damage. That's what they're talking about.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So that's the amount of damage that the hero attacking...
60 plus 35% of your strength, so...
gets returned as damage. Okay, okay.
Hearts back on the menu, boys. That was one of my favorite things, was just stacking hearts on Centaur standing under a tower. So fun.
Yeah. Double edge cooldown reduced by a second. It's quite nice. And then some tweaks to Who Stomp as well. Stun duration has been reduced, cooldown reduced, damage increased, mana cost reduced. So some general changes to Centaur. I think Adam's summed up quite well. Heart. And then quite a few changes to CK that I wanted to go over quickly. So Chaos Strike now has a 30% chance to proc instead of using a cooldown, which I guess it fits with the Chaos Strike thing, but I quite liked having it on a cooldown because it's more manageable. You know when you're going to get heals and stuff. It's just way more predictable, obviously.
I think it makes it way less calculated, you know? And instead of being like, ooh, I can go in the sky, I'm low, I'll trick them because I'll probably get 2 procs. It's like, you just roll the dice now.
Yeah.
So he's even more mediocre in that sense. Like who picks a carry and is like, I just want to roll dice the entire game and hopefully I come out ahead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then Phantasm, they've changed it again, so rather than just getting 3 at all levels, the illusions you now get 1, 2, or 3, which is so underwhelming. Getting 1 illusion at level 6 is like sucks. Outgoing damage has been increased up to 100% though, which is quite nice. Obviously to compensate from losing the 2 illusions. And the illusions no longer have 25% magic resistance, so they're more easily nukeable.
They're just gonna melt.
Yeah, they're going to melt. I feel like this is nerfs to CK, right? This hurts CK overall.
So it is 50 seconds lower cooldown.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Hmm.
But at the same time, you're gonna you want to pop your ulti and then just have one Dragon Slave kill your illusion. Like that's such a feels bad. And then a Naga walks by and makes 4 of them on a half, like way lower than half cooldown to your ult. I don't know.
Yeah. CK, I feel like the hero is still good in pubs, though. It's still like a pub stomping kind of hero. So we'll see about that. Marco, you put in the chat earlier that Crit wasn't very happy with the Clinks changes. Do you agree with him? What's going on? What's happened to Clinks?
Oh man, I was not ready for this Clinks. I didn't realise how many bullet points Clinks had. So the general gist, I think, is that Clinks is now what it used to be in the past, where Skeleton walks, this invis, movement speed spell, Strafe is the attack speed granting spell, gives a bit of evasion as well, and now Death Pact is back to the ultimate, so eating a creep is the ultimate. That gives you health as damage and gives you health. Honestly, I actually don't know what Clinks was. This is just my idea of Clinks. And then Burning Arm is just some castable spell. I don't really know why he thinks it's been dumbed down. To be honest, I think he maybe says that because the Death Pact was kind of a big play factor. The fact that it was
like
outplay factor. Yeah, it's a low cooldown spell. You got to be smart when you use it. It's not just okay. It's an ultimate, so I'll use it in this big ultimate engagement. It was more if you are smart about your timings and your movements, you could get way more value out of Death Pact than a shit player could.
And also, I don't think it mentions it on here, but you don't get permanent damage anymore, right?
Death Pact. Oh, I just can't remember. I don't know. Doesn't look like it says that anywhere.
Yeah, like you would get 5 for every kill from under Death Pact. That's not a thing now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know what Marco said about Death Pact changing. It makes sense, actually. Because also, you know how the cooldown was reset in fights when you got a kill and stuff like that. So there was a lot of cool play potential, whereas now you literally just use it off cooldown pretty much.
There is a level 20 talent that refreshes it. Kills reset.
Okay. Well,
and then it stacks. So that is, if you could keep it going, you can get really big. But yeah, this is like old Clinks. So that play style of Clinks is coming back.
It's good Clinks as well. The win rate's up from 50.5% to 56%. So plus 6% win rate pretty much. That's across all levels. Wow. That's
if he's buffed, even just his attack point going from 0.7 to 0.4 is a giga buff. Like that in and of itself is huge. So
yeah. I feel like in Dota in 3 years, all the heroes, long gone are going to be the days where Drow Ranger has this awful attack animation or Lena's attack animation's really rough. They're all just going to have similar attack animations, I swear. Moving down the list, I don't know if any of you have one in mind. Adam, do you want to have a word for Crystal Maiden? 5
move speed faster and has 2 more int, and that's pretty much it.
5 move speed.
Swift as the wolves of Ice Rat.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ice Frog just made 280 the new low, because I saw Veno got move speed buffed as well, and they were like pretty much the slowest heroes there were.
Yeah, what's Warlock's move speed? Is that 280 as well?
No, he's faster than.
I think did Warlock buff to go 290? Did he get a 5 movement speed buff? Which may have been off new meta recommendation.
Give him
maybe. Yeah. So Darkseer vacuum cooldown refined from 60 to 60.0. Is this Ice Frog memeing in patch notes?
Yeah.
Nice. What a man of the community. What a guy. Quite a lot of changes to Darkseer. You don't see the hero a lot, so I'm kind of happy for him to be buffed. He's such a unique hero because of the way Surge works and Iron Shell, and all his spells are all very unique, so I'm quite happy to see some buffs. His agility game's gone up a lot, armor's gone up 1, the mana cost of vacuum's down, damage has been increased.
His armor was reduced by 1.
Oh, his armor was reduced by 1.
But his agility went up by 6, so he's the same.
Okay, he just has more attack speed.
Literally taking the same damage.
The vacuum buffs are very outright strong, though, to go from plus 50 damage at every level, which is a double, 100% increase at level 1, and just slapping the mana down by 40 for every level.
Yeah. Maybe you get a value point in the vacuum now.
It has decent damage, 100. 60 mana.
Yeah, 60 is like, for a hero that is very mana intense on just 2 spells, you know what I mean? Like, Ion Shell just drains that mana pool.
You can snag things like ranged creeps pretty nicely. You could steal neutral creeps. The last hit potential is nice.
And he's got this interesting talent. Iron Shell provides 400 max health. Does not heal, maintains health percentage. So you slap it on a hero at full health and then they run in, they've got 400 extra health. Is that good at 15? I mean, it seems quite good.
Seems pretty good.
His versus 25% wall of replica damage. So I feel like you take the health.
Well, that replica does a lot of damage, though.
It does do a lot, yeah. It's underratedly actually tons of damage. Moving down the list, though, any heroes that jump out at us, they've made some very minor adjustments to a lot of the ones around here. Dazzle, Death Prophet Disruptor, Doom. They did increase Doom's Devour Gold at level 1 from 20 to 50, so I feel like the eternal question of how you level Doom, maybe the 1 point wonder and Devour is now more of a thing. I don't know, but it's quite a nice gold bonus for Doom. Doom's definitely back in the meta. I've been seeing it in pro games.
Yeah, I think base armor up on 1 by 1 on Doom. I think that's sizable. My impression was always Doom is a weak hero.
Considering he had like 0 armor.
Yeah, so that's pretty decent for Doom players.
Unless there's any objections, I'm going to zoom all the way down to Gyrocopter, whose flat cannon cooldown's reduced from 20 to 18. This is one of those changes that it's only 2 seconds, but flat cannon's such a pivotal spell for Gyro. That will increase the farming speed quite a lot, just those 2 seconds. And I kind of like Gyro. I want to play more Gyro. His level 10 talent's been increased, 16 damage instead of 12. Yeah. Do you remember when Gyro was really, really OP and the change that completely killed him was the increased flat cannon cooldown? So it's a very pivotal spell for the hero. So that's quite a nice buff, I think.
Yeah, fighting as well. More likely to have uptime on flak.
Yeah.
I would scoot back to Shaker. I think it's really uncommon to see Shaker nerfs, but the fissure change is definitely a solid nerf. The fissure duration at level 1 goes from 8 to 6.5, and then it scales from 6.5 back to 8. I think that's really big because fissure is all about block. It's all about this long-range block in the early game. And so that's 1.5 seconds less where the enemy is kind of blocked in and forced into a bad position. The block is what gets so many kills. I think in pro games in particular where they use it so well, that's really weakening Shaker as an early game presence. In pubs, maybe 0.
Even fissure blocking the waves.
I mean, even fissure blocking the waves will get nerfed. And I mean, Shaker has always been this tier 1 high level pos 4. Just, I mean, for the last couple of TIs, all the time. And we never saw it get nerfed, so it's interesting that it finally has.
Yeah, definitely. They changed Echo Slam. It wasn't really a nerf, they changed it so the single target damage was less, but with lots of stuff around it, increased it, and weird stuff like that. It wasn't like straight up nurse. So yeah.
Can we jump to another E hero real fast?
Yes.
Enchantress. And they
Sproink.
made her Ag Scepter even better. It was already the best one in the game with Sproink, but now it also gives you 150 attack range. That's like a free Dragon Lance on top of
Smiley face.
Sproink.
Sproink active.
And they buffed your turn rate so you can Sproink even better. That's a pod.
I want you to be able to cast Sproink on allies. That's when the item would come out. Imagine Sproink says it's like a reverse 4-staff. You can actually get them out even if they're facing the wrong way. I mean, Valve, come on. Get that in the game.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah. Huskar's agility gain's been increased. His base damage is up by 2. Inner fire knockbacks, not as much, but I don't think that matters because honestly that is often as much of a hindrance as it is an advantage because you don't want to knock them too far and then you can't even hit them. It's easy for them to run away.
Yeah.
So I actually think that's kind of fine. It's not even a nerf, really.
I think that's a buff as anything.
Yeah, I agree. You just get to hit them more. That's annoying. I don't want to see his base damage increased by 2 and his inner fire knockback reduced. I don't know if it's enough to make him a bit of a menace in pubs. I feel like he is quite easy to deal with at the moment because towers are so hard to kill, and it's always been the problem of Huskar is, he's not a very good tower hitter. So I don't really feel like the meta favours him very well, but those are some quite nice buffs.
You can't cheese Roshan at least with life break.
Yeah, that means Rubik can't do the crazy Roshan like one-shot stuff as well when he steals it or whatever. Adam, the most OP hero in Dota, the one with all the spells, now has 2 more damage than before. And Invoke no longer triggers spell events like Magic Stick. I got confused by that one when I first read it. I realised it's just like a bug thing, but I wasn't sure what was going on. Not really relevant changes beyond that, though. No one wants to see Invoker back.
Agreed.
Any other changes you want to go to? Looking down the list, anywhere you want to go next?
The ball has 40 move speed buff.
Yes. Why? That's insane. That's a huge
You
increase
don't have to buy
move
boots.
speed. Yeah, you just don't buy them anyway. So now you're fast anyway, and it's free boots, right? Boots is 40 or 45,
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It always felt so bad if you were never tethered to anyone. Now it feels decent.
Yeah.
Juggernaut, I think, has got some cool changes.
Yeah.
So his Omni Slash now gives 40 attack speed, but the attack speed multiplier is a notch less. I think on the whole, your Omni Slash has been buffed, which is nice. That's damage. That's largely where Juggernaut's
That's level 6.
Yeah, particularly in the earlier game, that is very true. You're really benefiting. And then the talent changes is really interesting. So it's both the Blade Fury talents at 15 movement speed from Blade Fury, giving you plus 80 now, plus 100. And then at 20, the Blade Fury DPS has gone up. That level 15 Blade Fury movement speed talent shouldn't be overlooked. So I know 90% of Jug games, 95% should and probably will be physical damage dealing. But in some games, you really need some escape mechanic, and 100 movement speed when you cast your Q to just bail out of a fight takes your movement speed from like 350 to 450 or 475. It's actually insane how helpful that is in certain situations. So you could see it more now, and you could see Jugs being kind of unkillable because he just Qs and runs out of a fight, and how do you stop him? You can't stun him when he's Blade Fury. So I'm interested to try him and see how effective it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I actually watched I saw a Topson game where he played Jug, and because of the change to Omni Slash, it also affects Ags, so Ags is better as well. He's like mini Omni Slash Ags. So in this game, Topson kind of went like right-click Jug still, in terms of build, and did have a very good game, so it's perhaps not the best indication. But he went for an early Ags, and he still took the talents that you talked about, the Blade Fury talents. So I can't remember what he took at 20, but he definitely took movement speed, Blade Fury movement speed at 15, even though he was going this Omni Slash sort of right click build just because the value was too strong of the 100 movement speed just to, like you say, get in and out. So I thought that was quite interesting. I don't know if Ags will become standard on the hero, maybe not. They'll have to still experiment about that one because it's kind of not, it's definitely not core at the moment. It's kind of a weird gimmicky luxury item, yeah.
Not just to mention the other 15 talent is 20 attack speed versus 100 Blade Fury movement speed. But given you're getting extra attack speed value in the Omni Slash, this attack speed maybe isn't as necessary. Because on the face value, you really want 20 attack speed because you're a right clicker, but actually you could probably get more utility and value from the movement speed of Blade Fury. What item build did Dobson do out of interest? Because also with this attack speed change in Omni Slash, I feel like you might not need or bother with, say, a Masked Madness build anymore, because that used to be a bit of a thing where you go Masked Madness, Dezo, so you just pump as much attack speed in your Omni Slash. I just wonder how the build might change.
Oh, he went, okay, so not that crazy. He just went Battle Fury, Manta, Ags.
Yeah.
Battle Fury, Manta, Ags, Nullifier. So I guess you get Nullifier to dispel Ghost Scepter and Eels and stuff, so you just guaranteed to kill people in the double Omni Slash stuff that you're doing. So yeah, Battle Fury, Manta, Ags, Nullifier, Abyssal is the build that he went.
You get a lot of damage from Nullifier.
Yeah. If I can go down to Leshrac, base damage increased by 3, attack range reduced a little bit, strength gain increased, and Pulse Nova, Scepter, Lightning Storm interval improved. I don't know what that even means. So base damage increased by 3 basically is the change, but attack range reduced. I don't even know if this is a buff. I thought it was kind of a nerf, right? I mean, reducing the attack range but increasing it by 3. I can't decide. I thought Lesh would be buffed a bit more because I don't feel like he's very good personally. But
part of me is thinking, is Ice Frog kind of trying to make this a buff? Even on the face of it, it looks like a nerf to reduce attack range, because now if you're going to right click, say, the range creep, you'll have to move into 5/7/5 range to do so, and then you're actually in a better position to get some kind of splitter playoff. Yeah. So is it this indirect help to shit players, which is 99% of the Dota population? I'm not sure. It's weird.
I don't know. It's kind of, I mean, it's just a nerf, right, to him overall, because his talent got changed to 10, plus 200 mana got taken away. Isn't that what you go 100% of the time?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Like that hero needs mana like no other. So this is like 200 taken away.
Split Earth radius 40. I wonder how much bigger that makes it.
I mean, it makes it bigger, but it's kind. I mean, like, I don't know.
Is that the issue with Lesh? Is it really? I mean, it is fair to say.
Yeah, you really aren't going to
miss. Like that is a truism. So maybe the impact of Lesh will go up a big ton because of this talent.
Now, really don't get level 2 Pulse Nova at 12. Really don't do it, because you're not going to have the mana anywhere close.
Yeah. Lina. Laguna Bay damage is up by 50 at all levels, and Dragon Slave backswing animation's been reduced, which, I mean, is nice little quality of life. And the Fiery Souls talent that you almost always get is buffed as well a little bit. That's really good to see, because I feel like Lina's been lackluster, and 50 damage on the ult is quite nice, especially at level 6. So I'm happy with that, and you much more effective right clicker with the Fiery Souls. So yeah, just a shout out to Lina, I guess.
Lich has a level 10 talent that makes his cast range 100 more. Instead of waiting till level 20 for 150. So that's really good.
That's huge. Yeah, I hadn't seen that change.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Really good for your gazes and stuff. Although 60 Frost Nova AoE is probably pretty good, but it's no way that's as good as 100 cast range. Like, that's sick. So, and then at level 20, now you choose between 4-second Frost Shield duration bonus or 100 more Chain Frost damage. think you probably just get 4-second frost shield. That's a long time. Well, that's +4, so it's like a really long, really long. For your core.
We talked about Savage Roar. We talked about Lone Druid. So now Savage Roar is no longer duplicate cast on either target that is unable to cast. Does someone want to explain that one for me? What does that mean?
So if one of the units is disabled, I guess by sleep, stuns,
it won't cast.
It won't do the Savage Roar if used by the other target. Okay. So I guess in the past, you're killing the Spirit Bear, stunned, but then the Lone Druid hero casts Savage Roar, and despite the fact that the Spirit Bear stunned, you're all feared away.
That seems like a huge nerf then, in that case.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
To that spell. But it looks like everything else. Well, the True Form armor goes down, but I think the bear gets buffed.
Spirit Bird damage per level is now base rather than bonus. I mean, I feel like the only mechanic that relates to is crits.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think crit is off your base damage, not bonus
backlash damage. Increase from 10% to 20%. I don't even know what backlash damage is, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Skip this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I presume Spirit has been... I mean, it has been buffed a little bit in compensation for the Savage Roar nerf, but I definitely think the Savage Roar nerf is pretty fundamental to...
It was always so frustrating that they both cast it at the same time, so I like that if you stun one of them, you don't get destroyed anyways. So that's...
Yeah. It was such an unfair get out of free card for the Lone Druid player that, they fuck up and the bear's out of position and should die, but it can somehow use fear through all these disables that you've put on it. It seems...
Magnus Empower damage rescaled from 10 to 25 to 11 to 32. So is the Magnus Empower Slave back? I mean, the cleave's not as good and the damage isn't as good to other heroes as it was in the past. Magnus became a core in its own right. So how do we feel like this Empower change plays? Does it help its... I mean... that seems like quite a lot, right? 25% to 32% damage increase?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Is this just straight buffs?
Skewer radius, bit fatter, so you're catching more with your skewer, that's buff. Shockwave slow, bigger, that's...
And cooldown on skewer down?
And the cooldown...
It's just straight buffs to a hero that was like... Damn. Every number is better. Even in the talents. Alright. I think Magnus is like a good mid. He's just one of those guys that like can farm and keep up with anybody because of his self-empower. So,
yeah, he was already a good mid because he's a tanky mofo. You can't really kill a Magnus. He just shoves the wave and goes woods.
Yeah, he's the guy that like doesn't matter if you lose the lane because he's going to jungle all the camp.
Yeah.
And be 2 levels ahead of you. So
he's one of the fastest farmers in the game with Empower.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. He disappears into the jungle and comes out mega farmed. So yeah, and he's one of the biggest winners of the patch, Magnus. He's in the top... Okay, he's in the top 6, which doesn't sound that good, but still a 3% increase in win rate, which is very nice.
The Mars change is interesting. So this hero's been in the dumpster, seen it low win rates. It's not as strong as it once was when it was fresh out of the Ice Frog Factory.
Not when he was your chosen...
When he was my go-to, Mars was just combo killing any hero on the map, but now you do about 50% less damage. So the big change is this Arena of Blood formation time has been halved from 0.6 seconds to 0.3 seconds. So this means you cast your arena, and the chance that you hit your spear combo and you actually catch the enemy hero inside the arena should be much bigger. So
yeah, the walls go up faster, right? So you don't like even. You could like force staff out before the walls went up. Or sometimes like you would even just like walk.
You fucking walk out. It's so
you
painful.
just walk out. Yeah, so that is a really good buff.
How sizable it will be and how much impact it'll have. I mean, I guess you could say further down the MMR spectrum, it's going to have a bigger buff, and the further up you go, it's less of an impactful change because I don't know. I feel like high level Mars, it's not like this hero's now viable in a pro game just because of this formation.
Right, it's just nice.
It's just a bit, nice for the masses.
It was always a feel bad when you cast it, and there's like someone waddles out. And you're like, you're not even at best.
And then the heroes. So
3 ints big too, because hero wants mana bad, and like the new Soul Ring, that ain't it. I don't even know what that item goes on, but it feels bad on a lot of heroes that it used to go on. I think Mars is a hero that can make use of it, because if you go like Vlad's and stuff, otherwise you get pretty low. But what was 3 int is like what 60?
That's like a W.
Yeah, it's a free W, so it's pretty good.
Maybe honestly the spear cooldown -3 now. I think his other 10 talent is something to do with damage or strength. Maybe we'll see more kind of Yule's spear merchants, where it's more spell casting, more spears you can throw. You got more mana to work with. Your ult's a bit more reliable, so maybe we'll see a bit more utility on the guy.
Yeah, maybe you can go a support build and go spear cooldown.
A big winner of the patch has been Nargothrond. Movement speed increased from 320 to 330. Ensnare cast point reduced a tiny bit, and Song of the Siren Scepter upgrade now. Whatever, we don't care because it's Song of the Siren Scepter, which you never ever see. So is this 10 movement speed has been enough for the hero to get 3.5% increase in win rate? That's remarkable, up from 47.5% to 52%. I mean, that shows you how big movement speed is, right? I mean, is there something that I'm missing?
Ensnare as well. Think about those times where casting on someone and then they kind of slip into a shadow.
That's true, yeah.
Also, Giga good early. Like, you can... 330 is really fast, so no one's going to walk away from your illusion if you just, like, sock it on somebody and then hope for the procs. So, that's pretty good. I mean, like, movement speed... 10 movement speed, and then later in the game when you have like boots plus manta or something, it just every little bit you get makes your farming efficiency better because they're quicker to get to camps, they're quicker to cut waves. So
the Yasha synergy.
Yeah, it just builds over the course of a game.
So Nurse to Nature's Prophet, armor reduced by 2, and some of the talents changed too. 5 less damage on the 10 talent. Is this enough to make Nature's Prophet not a top tier hero in the pros, or is this hero still very dominant, we think?
I think it'll still be a dominant hero because of everything it does. I think it's fair to drop its armor. 2 is a sizable nerf in the grand scheme of things in these small number patches, and 2 armor reduction is pretty big. But I think you would still see it in these various roles it can play.
Treant's giving less gold and XP is kind of big.
Yeah, I mean it's
just like, like if you're a Beastmaster with a boar or a Venno with wards, like those give a lot of XP over the course of a lane, to where it's like you could even be playing the lane pretty well, and then you're like, but they're ahead of us in levels, just because they've been killing your creeps. So
yeah. Purification cast range up 150 on Omni-Knight. That's quite a lot. That's a talent right there. Although
that is nice, because 400, that's dog. That is awful. Like 550 is Abaddon Aphotic Shield range. And if you've ever tried to purge a stun off of someone, like off your carry, you know that is like just awful cast range. So 400 was like even... like it's just so much worse. Like that's melee. It's almost melee that you have to be there to heal someone. So that's nice.
Yep. A hero that's got a plus 2% increase in win rate is OD. Essence Flux slow duration has been increased a tiny bit, and the act is now 2 seconds longer. That's the slow, by the way. When you activate it, Arcane Orb mana cost reduced from 110 to 80 at level 1. It's still the same, 200 at level 4. And Astral Imprisonment now basically shows the AoE that the damage is going to do, and it has an increased cast range. At level 1, it's now 300. That used to be the level 2 cast range. So it's basically the cast range of Astral now is what it used to be a level ahead, if that makes sense. That's a really nice change. That makes getting Astrals off in the lane so much safer. You're just going to take less right clicks when you come up to Astral someone and stuff like that. Easier to set up for kills.
Easier to win range creeps in the lane.
Yeah. It's nice. A nice change.
It's a nice laning buff.
Yeah, big time. Do you think the enemy will see the Astral Imprisonment AoE? Was it just allies? Or do you
I
reckon
think it'd probably be everyone.
Interesting.
I've had to guess.
Oh, so it will show while Astral is actually on and happening. I was imagining it being showing you when you're going to press the spell.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know why that would matter. You know what I mean? During the cast.
Like if you hover around a unit, it'll have it.
I mean, it says cast AoE, so I guess that's what it means, but like, who cares? Because you know where the Astral is, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I guess it helps you know if it's going to hit a unit or not.
And like a creep wave.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll do annoying things. Like with a level 3 Astral, you'll prep the range creep once and then start running away, and then the Astral won't clip it, so it won't die, and some annoying stuff like that. So maybe it'll help with little things like that. We'll have to see. Any other... Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I have a couple I want to go back. Just real fast.
Yeah.
Luna, since I just played a game of that, base damage increased by 3, which is really nice. Started double tango, circlet, slipper, double stick, 60 damage, and then Lunar Blessing makes it 66 damage at level 1. That's pretty good for Luna to right click with. And then the other thing is her Moon Glaives, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 6, goes 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get 2 extra bounces at level 1, but it does
less damage.
Less damage. Yeah. But it feels good for the first level to actually bounce a little bit. So
Yeah, that's fair. An extra hit on Supernova at level 1, that's quite funny. Supernova level 1 is kind of like a joke. Level 2 is the same 8-hit counter, and level 3 is now 10 instead of 11. I don't think we need to dwell on that change. I just thought it was funny because level 1 Supernova is so bad.
Yeah.
Marco, do you want to talk to us about these Pudge changes then?
Pudge is back.
Is it?
No, but it's back in my games when I'm picking it. So, I mean, base health regen 1 to 2. If you're quick maths, that's a what, 100% increase? That is sizable. 60 more HP in a minute. Don't mind. Strength game's gone down 20%. Feels kind of bad. Albeit the flesh heap strength gain has gone up, so slight compensation. But honestly, the meat hook change level. So in this build I've invented and refined, you only got 1 point in meat hook. So I've
what level?
4. So you max rot, and then at level 10 you get the rot talent, which has been buffed in this patch. That's amazing because your damage output's rot and radi. You farm with rot like a monster. But then you get flesh heap for the magic resistance to help you farm, and then fights tank and whatnot.
Wait, flesh heap doesn't give magic resist, I thought.
Yeah, it does now. So it gives base magic resist of 8. It's like, I think 8, 10, 12, 14, or 8.
That was just recent. That was
latest.
727. Yeah.
So you get in flesh heap for magic resist, which obviously helps you farm with rot, and then you get flesh heap strength gain when you get kills.
That's because flesh heap doesn't give regen.
Yeah, it used to give HP regen.
Yeah.
So now, rush hood and get a couple flesh heap points, and you've got really good magic resistance, and you can just get 1 value point in hook at level 4 because the extra points in flesh heap really don't really matter. So you can spare 1 point value meat hook. So level 1 meat hook, 27 cooldown, now 21 cooldown. 6 seconds in the world of Dota is a long time. I know I've been to many fights in my days where I'm just waiting for hook to come up 5 seconds, just dilly-daddling. Or you want to hook the rune and you can't. And just 6 seconds, you can get so much more done. So very nice change to the meat hook. Makes it not a completely redundant spell. And then your rot damage, like I've said, from the talent, and the slow up as well, early levels helps. So, I mean, it is minor. It's not as minor as some of the hero changes. So, I'm very happy.
Nice.
Why this talent 28 rot damage to 30? Like,
well,
what?
So I was thinking in the past, that 20% talents have been nerfed.
Right, he's just rounding.
Yeah, so he's rounded it back up.
It's just so silly, though.
Yeah, that meme patch of talents have been nerfed a little bit. Go figure.
Yeah.
A hero that's somewhat close to my heart that I think's been gutted. I actually think this change is really bad for Razor. Strength gain's been increased for a little bit, agility gain increased a little bit, plasma field cooldown reduced a little bit, all nice. Static link no longer disarms you nor does invisible attacks through the link, but instead allows you to attack while moving, similar to Wind Ranger. By default, will automatically attack the targeted linked, but it allows you to attack a different target. So that's nice. That's a buff to static link. It means that it works as it did before, but you can also attack someone else if you want to while link's active. So that's obviously good. Storm Surge no longer provides you AoE movement speed and now gives you movement speed, which is fine. But the big nerf is that Eye of the Storm no longer has a passive component. It's the single targets are gone up a bit, but it really doesn't matter very much. You can farm with Eye of the Storm, sure, but having that passive component
3-second burst
AoE, you can't farm with the hero anymore. Now that was so integral to what you wanted to do with Razor, and now it's so much more of a early game. Yeah, it's like an anti-carry early game tempo rather than a hero that actually can be at the top of the net worth, and so I think that's such a gross change for Razor.
The damage strike 40 to 60 per tick of the Eye of Storm. That's a 50% bump up of damage. Sounds quite a lot. I don't know how integral the AoE passive was to Razor's farm potential. I don't know the numbers of what it used to be.
I think it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. Yeah.
It's harder to do stacks. That was a thing. You could stack.
You're not using plasma to stack.
You can clear them.
No, I mean farming stacks. You would do
stacks,
both. Yeah. And you would just drag them and never be in any harm.
Yeah, I mean the hero's win rate's gone down 5%, so that would suggest it's quite a nasty change.
I don't know why you wouldn't just put that passive onto the plasma field, say, and just have a little.
Yeah, onto Storm Surge. It used to be on. It used to be on the passive, didn't it?
So, Razor now owns the most boring skill in all of Dota. It's Storm Surge, because literally all it does is a move speed buff just to you. And there used to be a time where both he and Death Prophet had that ability. And then Death Prophets also gave cooldown reduction on the Q, I think. But he got rid of them because it was they were just so boring, right? He wanted to amp it up. And that's when she got her suck ability, and then he got Storm Surge, I guess. I don't know when the name changed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sad. That ability, that's the ability that used to have the passive damage AoE around it, and you would max that, and that was pretty cool because you could farm Giga fast.
And it had a purge on it or something like that, didn't it?
So at first, it did damage when somebody targeted you with an ability. So whenever they targeted you, they took damage and they got purged, which was pretty cool. But then they got rid of that for the AoE damage thing, and that was cool. And then they moved it to the Eye of the Storm, and it was well, that's still cool, I guess. But now that's gone all together, and all that's left is this husk. Well, yeah, since they moved the passive damage to the Eye, then they were okay, we'll give an AoE movement speed buff with Storm Surge, and then they just took that. So we're back 5 years is basically what we are with that spell.
Yeah. No, it is the most boring spell, I would say. I agree with you.
I mean, 20% move speed is nice. There's not a lot of percent move speed buff, but it's you have to put. How bad does it feel to put spell points into that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's do Sand King because they've reworked a spell, Caustic Finale. Attacking an enemy now places a debuff that slows the enemy from between 10 to 25% and lasts for 5 seconds. If the target dies during the 5-second debuff, then an explosion deals a percentage of the max health in a 500 AoE.
Plus a base 130 at level 4.
That sounds insane to me.
This is old school Sanking. So,
Okay.
you hit someone, they get Caustic. So what you do, you hit every creep with Caustic, and then you can do a chain reaction. So you kill one of the creep, because it's got the debuff on it, it'll explode 130 plus like 80 damage, which is 20% of a creep. Yeah. So that's like a 200 burst. But then that 200 burst kills the second creep, which has got the debuff on it, because you prepped the right click and then chain reaction of the whole wave, and you explode the enemy carry.
You've always been able to do that.
Oh,
you could do that before.
I lost track of what the old Caustic used to be. I feel like you had to get a last hit, didn't you, or something? I feel like the old one.
Yeah, I
was. Maybe the old one was you always did some little burst of damage, but if you got the last hit on it, it did an extra burst of damage. Whereas this one is it gets a debuff on it, and if it dies by anybody under the debuff, it does a good amount of damage. So I feel like a bit more consistent, reliable.
Did Caustic give a 25% slow? That's new, isn't it?
It's a bit of a slow. I don't think it was 25.
I honestly question if the most recent Caustic did any slow, because I swear there was a game I picked Sanking and skilled Caustic at the rune, thinking it did a slow, and then
I don't think it did.
And then I lost the game because of that one decision.
I lost the game.
So
yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it did either. I don't think it did a slow before this. I don't know what it did instead.
It placed the debuff.
Yeah, it did place a debuff, yeah. I thought the old one was it was guaranteed to do damage no matter what. So you prepped a creep, and after the debuff expired, it would just do an explosion anyway for like half the damage.
Tiny bit.
Yeah, like a smaller explosion, but it didn't have to die, it would just do it. And the same on enemy heroes as well.
Yeah, but I think really small. I think you had to get the last hit yourself to get the explosion.
To get the bigger explosion.
To get a bigger one.
Yeah, it would be a small, crappy one.
That means you can't get a chain reaction, because you'd have to right-click one creep, right-click a next. Do you know what I mean? To explode multiple creeps. But
right.
By virtue of just any creep dying with a debuff, you kill one creep and chain explode 4 of them.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
That couldn't happen in the past. So this is, I do think, very much stronger, and it's just what it used to be.
Yeah, and you can do it nicely where you prep the creeps and then do a burrow strike like onto the carry.
Is that not the way it always has been? When was it different? So
before this change, the difference is before this change, you could do the chain reaction, but it would only be one full damage, the one that you CS'd, and then the other ones would be killed by the explosion from the first one and therefore deal half damage because they weren't being CS'd by you. I think something like that. I might be wrong. I don't want to be quoted on that, but I think that's something like that.
Oh, I think maybe. So, this is maybe too old a change. One of the old changes was rather than doing explosion damage on death, it was just some fixed damage on expiry. But I need to find a more recent change.
While Marco's doing that,
go
on. Shadow Fiend's win rate's up 2.5%. A lot of weird changes to Necromastery, so now it's kind of you get 2 damage per soul. Rather than 2 damage per soul, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 damage per soul, so twice as much damage per soul at level 4. But the soul count is less, obviously, but it's not half.
11 to 20 instead of 12 to 36.
Yes. Yeah. And the Requiem has been adjusted appropriately as well, so it deals one soul instead of per 2 soul for each wave. I don't feel like there's much to talk about. It's kind of basic changes, but the base damage has been increased by 4.
Yeah, that's big too.
That's huge, actually.
It's more right clicks overall. I mean, at max, it's 80 damage instead of 72. And then the 20 talent is +3 instead of +2 per soul. Is that about the same?
Yeah, I think it's similar.
About the same.
Yeah.
It's 40. No, wait. It's 80 damage, and then that becomes 140 damage. Yeah, it's pretty good with the talent.
I'm back with research.
Okay.
Update. So, old school caustic is what we have. It then got changed to if you don't last hit the target, it does an explosion, 30, then 50% of the damage. Then it got changed to if you don't last it, irrelevant if you last it or don't last it, it will now just expire and do flat damage, like 100, which was the most recent caustic for like a good couple of years maybe. And now it's reverted back to if you kill the target under the debuff, there's an explosion.
Okay. So we were right. Or you were right. Okay. That's good. Any other heroes we want to go over? I feel like Spectre didn't really get changed as much as people would have hoped, I think, as one of the strongest heroes. There's not much to talk about there. Storm Spirit has seen quite a hefty increase in win rate simply from this Ball Lightning change. Ball Lightning travel cost per 100 units reduced from 12 plus 0.7% to 10 plus 6.5%. So Ball Lightning just costs less. It's really interesting because I feel like I've never seen this kind of change before on Storm. To change Ball Lightning mana cost. And it's been enough for Storm Spirit to increase in win rate by just shy of 4%. So it's obviously very significant. Just straight up, maybe the best thing you could give Storm is his ult costing less mana. So that's nice for him. Beyond that, anywhere else? Anywhere else we want to go?
Sven got quite a lot of changes, trying to bring him back. Movement speed up by 10 for carries. This is really important. 325 movement speed on Sven is pretty rapid, so that's good for farming, fighting, chasing. I think the war cry speed, that got reduced by 2. Mana got changed a little bit. Cleave a bit more, but I think the big one is God Strength. So in the past, it gave strength when you cast it. But what Sven really gives a crap about gaining strength?
Because you got crit % off of it.
No, yeah, God Strength matters. I mean, it used to give you strength by casting the spell, as well as bonus damage.
Yeah, I'm saying it gave you strength, which gave you damage.
Yeah, 30 damage at level 18 is nothing.
Which then gets bonus damage, so it's more than 30.
Nah, okay, but I don't really care. What Sven plays care is that the bonus % increase from God Strength is now 50% higher at level 3, or level 18. So that effective damage is going to be way higher than plus 30 times some %.
Yes.
It's the duration that's crazy, though. Yeah.
15 more. Because to me, the reason this guy was crap, 25 seconds, and then it's got a pretty long cooldown. So you had to get a lot done in that 25, and then you're dead. You're just a dead hero. But now 40 seconds is long. Like, if you think a fight, 25 seconds, and then quickly into a rush or into objectives or just, things like that. 15 seconds is a lot of time to have your beast mode damage up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's good to see Sven get some buffs. I like the hero.
Yeah, I definitely needed it.
Yeah. Adam, you mentioned that Terrorblade got a buff. Metamorphosis race car build. This is it. Just don't even reduce the attack speed, move speed anymore. Flying.
That's big because he was always so slow. Now level 1, you're going to be pepping. You can just waddle up on people.
Yeah. It's kind of wild. Just this change has increased his win rate by 3%. Just having...
how much did it remove before? It was a lot.
Yeah, he was definitely really slow.
You're basically like a tower without boots and stuff.
Anywhere else we want to go? I think we should talk about Underlords because this is the hero that's had the biggest increase in win rate to a ridiculous plus 7.5% win rate increase from 52% to 60%. So if you're wondering what hero to play right now, I would definitely say Underlords because this hero is kind of a pub stomping hero. You just build auras and just win the game. I can talk from experience. Like if you want to climb to honestly, I feel like you could climb to 5k on Underlord, especially at the moment in the current patch, like maybe easier than most other heroes. Attack range increase from 150 to 175, kind of an interesting change. So a trophy aura no longer provides permanent damage, but the creep damage has been rescaled from 5, now it scales up to 7, so you actually get more creep death damage at level 4. And the duration's been increased by 15 seconds at level 4 too. Firestorm AoE has been increased from 400, now it scales up to 500 pretty much.
That's a big AoE increase.
Yeah.
And you're casting it faster.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it can work on Ancients.
And it still ignores Roshan. Yeah. And Pit of Malice an extra second.
The cooldown reduced at all levels. That's really useful.
Yeah, and definitely at level 1, going down 4 seconds, because it's kind of a 1-point spell anyway, oftentimes. You probably just get the 1 in Malice, and then you max the other spells. So that's quite nice to see it have the biggest impact on level 1, Pit of Malice. The hero's just good. Like, it was already good. It already had a 52% win rate, and then it gets all these nice buffs. And now it's just crushing the game. It's got the highest win rate in full stop. So yeah, Underlord is the source. Marco, you talked about Ursa needing changes. Are you satisfied with these Ursa changes?
Yeah, I think it looks small on the face of it, but if you think having a level 4 Earth Shock, the cooldown's gone up by a third, 6 to 8. In a fight, you are getting far fewer chaser Earth Shocks off, or even escape Earth Shocks off, and that jump aspect was one of the key ingredients for why the hero was legit, alongside some other factors like Battle Fury, meta, whatever. But this jump mechanic on the Earth Shock, mobility mechanic, is such a key ingredient for you to get stuff done in fights and for you to escape. 2 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but I think really will make a big difference.
And then finally, is there...
Also the rage cooldown's gone up at level 1 by 20 seconds, level 2 by 10 seconds. So again, just slower tempo to the hero, because ults on cooldown more often.
And is there any other heroes we want to go to? I was quite interested by Wraith King. Base damage increased by 3. Aura no longer provides attack damage or self-bonus mechanics, but the lifesteal aura has been increased.
I don't like that, though. You used to get something like 16 damage from the W.
Even you get like 30.
Was it 30?
I think it was like... Maybe it was like 16, but then it was half as effective on you, so it was like 24. I think you got an extra 50% or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It was quite a bit to where it made laning really good.
Yeah, it's definitely a nerf. Like, Wraith King's been nerfed too.
Yeah.
I would say.
I don't know why, though. I don't know why you do that. I didn't think like it was too strong, his damage he got from the vampiric aura.
Yeah.
I mean, since attack damage has gone up.
Yeah, gone up
maybe
by 5, yeah.
This farm potential isn't actually any different, but it makes his laning a bit weaker, a bit harder. Maybe on the whole, his farm is still as fast. And then maybe you prefer more lifesteal later in the game. 12% more lifesteal. Maybe. Better.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's kind of nasty. Vampire Aura was such a nice spell for Wraith King.
It was.
I do want to say huge quality of life change for Wind Ranger. Focus Fire now pauses firing if you issue the stop command. So this means that you now don't... Before, if you focus fired a target that had Blade Mail and then they press Blade Mail, there's actually nothing you can do to stop yourself hitting the target. You actually have to run out of range.
Was it not a double stop? Then?
No, you couldn't. You
couldn't.
No, you actually couldn't. Yeah, you had to. If you spammed stop command while right clicking away from the hero, sometimes you wouldn't do it because your turn. If you issued the second right click quicker than your turn rate, you could do it. But basically, it meant that if a hero used Blade Mail, if you were within attack range, you just kill yourself, and there's nothing you could do about it. So now Blade Mail, it still counts as Wind Ranger, sure, but nowhere near as much as it did before. So I like this change a lot, because there's one game that's burnt into my memory where I died because of this, and it was some super late game, like 60-minute game, where all the enemies I was some Wind Ranger carrying the game, and then all the enemies brought Blade Mail, and I couldn't do anything because of this weird bug where I couldn't stop attacking them, even though I was spamming stop and pause and everything and stuff. So that's very nice. Are we satisfied with that? Is there any other heroes we want to talk about? Is that...
Yes.
Go for it.
Venomancer does not reduce HP regen on Poison Sting anymore. Feels bad.
That sucks. That means you can't stack it. You used to be able to... Didn't you used to be able to do like negative regen shenanigans?
Basically, yeah. With a lot of like that, and then like Scotty and Spirit Vessel and yeah. And then one interesting one is that Undying Flesh Golem. Flesh Golem debuff now increases all damage the target takes by 25, 30, 35%.
That's interesting.
I don't know if it's enough to make Undying like back, but that'd be cool.
He's got a good win rate, 53.5%. That's across all levels. That's not bad.
You'd have to I guess you ult, and when you punch someone, they take more damage, basically. So.
I think Undying's good. I think we'll see Undying again. I think we'll see him in pro games as well. I mean, I called that last patch, but this makes me feel more confident. I guess that's the patch then. That's our hot take on 7.27b. I'll save
flame it up.
Shall I save my flame for next week for 99? Or should I flame it now? I don't know if I have the energy to flame now.
Will the flame burn as hot?
I think it will. Time? I think it will burn just as hot next time.
All right,
I'm confident that it will. Yeah, I'll tease it. Basically, the topic is the new player experience, kind of.
All right.
That's kind of the topic.
Let it fester for a week. Get you angry.
Yeah, I'll get super angry. Yeah, but yeah, until next week, have a final whistle. As always,
fill out the survey.
Fill out the survey, yes, and give us a like and a review wherever you listen to us. That's very much appreciated. Keep the questions flying in, and we'll see you next week.